Hello, and one and all. So you may know me for doing movie reviews most likely. However, if you've seen my plans for a 24 video, 2024, I said that I would bring some stuff from a childhood and bring more extended and start selling myself more. Like bringing some stuff from a childhood, whether you watch kids shows like SpongeBob SquarePants or Scooby Doo. But one show in particular I find quite personal and very related is Thomas and Friends, or a lot of people, as they tend to call it, Thomas the Tank Engine, or if you really want to call it the Railway series, whatever it is. I mean, the books were technically called them that, but I myself just thought, why not give this a go? And if it's a successful video, then perhaps I'll continue doing some more. So I have thought, why not talk about the first 7 seasons of Thomas and Friends, because I feel like they are um very nostalgic. Because after that they're not so much, then it just gets completely childish. So throughout every month, if they're successful, the videos I do, I thought, why not review these seasons, because I've seen a bunch of YouTube videos. They're mostly done on audio. Um, if you guys have followed my YouTube channel before, I like to do my videos on camera, even though I don't like looking at myself on camera, but I prefer to do it on camera still, nonetheless. Um, so I thought, why not do it as I said. This was one of the very first few things I started watching when I was a kid. So the show basically aired in 1984, based on the Railway series. Each episode, or each season, has 26 episodes, and since today is the 26th of January, it makes sense. Why not do these every 26th of every month? Seems a bit original, I know. But, and I understand this is a kid show, so, um, however, though, there's probably going to be some adult words throughout the series, depending how I go. I don't know how often I'll do it, but we will see. So the first episode we have is Thomas and Gordon. And I really love how they have this as the first episode, because Thomas is obviously the main character of the entire show. Plus, he have a fan favorite character, particularly Gordon. I mean, he was a big fan favorite of mine for sure. You know, because back then he was a very determined engine. He's known for pulling the express. Um, and Thomas is known for being cheeky. They call him a cheeky one. He tends to make fun of the big engines, and Gordon is feeling quite enraged by it, and so starts to show him what hard work truly is. But then later on, you do get introduced to other engines, like Edward, Henry, James. Uh, then in the second half of the show, you have Percy and Toby. And what I think has probably the best arc in the show, Henry, because in the third episode, the sad story of Henry, um he gets stuck in a tunnel, um because, well, the rain. then we are introduced to the manager of all the engines, known as either Sir Toppenhat or the Fat Controller, whatever you want to call him, yada yada. And so basically, tries to get Henry out, but he himself does not, because he says, "My doctors forbid me to push and pull." So they break him up in the front and leave him there until the next episode. Um, Keep in mind, guys, I am acknowledging the UK version. I'll probably touch the US version here and there. But yes, Rio Starr is the narrator in the UK for season 1, and George Carlin is the narrator in the US. So in the next episode, you then have Gordon and Edward, and so they eventually get Henry back on track and tries to um help Gordon and Edward, because in the US title it's called Henry to the Rescue, but I think I prefer to have the three engines, because in the end they all become friends in the end. What I like about this show more than any other TV show, at least the early seasons, you rarely get kids shows that follow episodes from one another. Thomas the Tank Engine, this series in particular, somewhat does that, because I've realized that there's a lot of two-parter episodes. I mean, Henry's story, that's pretty much a two-parter. Um, James, the Red Engine in particular, has like a four-parter episode, where he, in the first episode that he's introduced, he has a crash, um, which, funny enough, one of the later animated movies showed that, but only in the Railway series, James is black. But in this series, he is actually red, so because he's the Red Engine. Then you do get other episodes with him, like Troubles in Trucks, The Express, yada yada. Then you have um also an episode where James, Henry, and Gordon are basically on strike, which I kind of find that a bit unlikely for a kids' TV show. However, though, I can somewhat understand why they do it. Then, of course, they bring in Percy, the other small engine, if you want to call him that. Who I think is a pretty good engine, who's technically Thomas's best friend in the show. And so, but the chemistry I like the most is particularly Thomas and Gordon, because it's like having the first episode and the last episode, even though there was a Christmas episode, I know. But I love how the first episode, well, the 24th episode, speaking, Off the Rails, was basically about Gordon, and then the next episode was basically Thomas, and so eventually Thomas and Gordon reunite. They're friends now. You help me, I help you, and so in the first three seasons, there's a Christmas episode. I mean, here's what I will say though: I really like all these episodes, but the Christmas one's probably my least favorite, because is it really needed? But the one exceptional episode, I think, is the Flying Kipper, with Henry. It feels very um unique, because it's got a cool atmosphere. It visualizes Henry's character, changes from his old shape, because in the previous episode, Cole, he has special Cole, and so in this crash in the Flying Kipper, he gets a new shape. And I also love the episode Whistles and Sneezes, where Gordon's whistle is going off, and then Henry is sneezing at the children that are throwing rocks at his coaches, and so each character has their own theme. Funny enough, I love the fact that every character has their own theme. Um, Gordon's I really like in particular because it feels very exciting and very do 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 do. And I also like James's as well because it's also a very calm and jazzy do 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 do. But I mean, they all have different things which I really like, and so, and you do get two other characters that are not engines. You have Betty, who's the bus, then Terence the tractor, and so this episode or this season, sorry, season one, I think is pretty good. It's not the best season. I think the best is yet to come for a while from this point. Um, but I think overall it's a pretty good season and probably slightly underrated. Even though I do prefer a lot of the classic seasons um of this, but I'd say it's my fifth favorite of the seasons because I think um it's got pretty good episodes throughout, and also um just has good flavor of characters. Where Thomas is the cheeky engine, Edward is sort of the help out engine. The second episode, Edward and Gordon. Then Gordon is the express engine. He loves the express, you know. So then you have Toby, who's the tram engine, who's introduced in Toby and the Gentleman, whatever that episode's called, and then the next episode where Thomas is in trouble or breaks the rules, where this policeman is saying, "You are dangerous to the public." I will admit, though, that's one of my least favorite episodes because is it really appropriate to mention the word law in a kids' TV show? Because kids' TV shows are supposed to enjoy something, you know. But I mean, hey, it's an older TV show. I mean, TV shows for kids now these days are just nothing compared to earlier seasons of kids' TV shows. What you get anyway. But overall, guys, I think this season, for starters, is pretty a good start overall, and it can get you interested. I mean, I haven't read a lot of the Railway series books, so I don't know too much about them. So, but I feel like the TV show is probably more continuation um rather than books because as I said, there's a lot of two-parter episodes, you know, particularly the Henry episode where he gets stuck in the tunnel, the uh James arc episode, then the Toby episode, and then of course um the Gordon episode, where he falls off. Then the next episode, it's then Thomas. That kind of shows a good connection in there. But overall, guys, I think it's a pretty good season. But I think some of the next seasons are better in my opinion. There you go, guys. That was my thoughts on season 1 of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, what it used to be called anyway, but I'm probably just going to call it Thomas and Friends, because I don't want to just give Thomas all the credit in the show, because I think all the other characters in the show are as crucial to the show. But comment down below, let you know below, do you think I should continue on with the show? If not, should I stick to my movie reviews? Whatever. I'll um do it anyway if this video is successful enough. But comment down below, let me know below what kids TV show did you watch growing up. I mean, I've certainly watched more than Thomas, but I think Thomas is the more interesting one. So let me know below in the comments. Let's have a great discussion down there. And as always, until my next video, I shall see you then, and peace.